Mitt Romney is going to raise more money than Barack Obama. That should guarantee his victory. It's sort of like the vote is.
Do you think it will?
Well, which answer do you want?
The true one.
The true one?
Yeah.
Well, the guy who was an optimist 2 minutes ago, sitting here, I guess that was me.
Right.
I think people should start to practice the words President Romney. To assume that the other side are just a bunch of ignoramuses who are supported by people who believe that Adam and Eve wrote on dinosaurs 6,000 years ago is to completely misjudge the opposition, and they not only are smart, they are dedicated, they are disciplined, they have the courage of their convictions, they say exactly what they think, which we've been entertained by the last couple of weeks.
Do they? I mean, last night we had Paul Ryan standing up there and leveling a bunch of charges against Obama that I don't believe he believes.
No, I think if you put a lie detector on him, I think he'd pass it. The one thing that the wealthy donors don't have is any more than one vote per person. That must really piss them off. Because with all the money they have, when they go and they close that curtain, they can only plunk down once. And no matter how much crap they've put on their TV commercials or whatever, they can't come into the booth with me or him or her or whatever. The curtain closes, and then it's all bets are off. Our side, we've got the people. We've got the votes. There's more of us than there are of them. And once we understand that, once we understand that we actually hold the true power and stop seeing ourselves as the victims of this, and all the billionaires, look, there's always been, obscenely wealthy people, and there always will be. But they don't actually have to pull the strings here if we get in charge of this. The politicians see that actually taking this money is going to hurt them. I think that could stem some of this in the future. But what I want to say, when I said this about President Romney, I want to be very clear about this and why the money here is so critical this year. I believe that if our election in November was like American Idol, and Americans could just sit on a couch like this and just hit a button, Obama would win hands down.
Right.
There's no question in my mind about that the majority of Americans would vote, if they all voted, if everybody voted, Obama would win. That's not what's going to happen. This election is going to be decided on who gets out the most people that day. Who's up at 4 in the morning, making sure that dozens, hundreds, thousands of people in their communities are getting out to vote. And the Republican machine that is set up right now, and the money behind it to guarantee, which is really the only important thing, turnout on that day, that is what looks pretty scary here, because they not only have the money, they're highly motivated. Hate is a strong emotion. Sadly, as human beings, sometimes it's...
And despair and frustration. I mean, part of the problem is also surely where the economy's at. And, even people who are fans of the president are not going to be,
that's
not
true.
Going to be that crazy about going out.
No, that's true. And this is a big problem, is that Obama's base is kind of like, I'm going to vote for him.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to vote for him. But at this time, 4 years ago, everybody, including myself, I was working on phone banks. I
hope you were telling them who you were. You were just like...
if I thought it
anonymous.
helped.
It depends. You look at the region that you're calling. You try to figure out exactly the demographics.
But that's not happening now. And Obama, even though he won with 10 million votes, he only won one age demographic, 18 to 29-year-olds. He lost every other age group. I don't know if people know that.
Right.
He lost the white vote. There's a few white people in this country.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Okay, so how do you lose the white vote?
Yeah.
And lose every age demographic except young people and win the White House with 10 million votes? How did that happen? It happened because huge numbers of young people voted, number one. Huge record numbers of African Americans and Hispanics voted. And McCain won white women just by a little bit. So, there was a huge vote by white women for Obama, even though McCain won the white vote. But all of that combined is enough to win. There are a number of presidents who were Democrats who have won in the last 30 or 40 years that lost the white male vote, yet won the White House. So what is being done to inspire the base? I don't think ads are going to do it. I think he's got to act. He should have started acting 4 years ago. This is what's so upsetting to me.
You mean less in a policy sense and more in a communication sense?
Everything. He should not have compromised with Congress. He went in compromising before even, stating what he believed. He hasn't followed through on the things he said he was going to do. And this isn't necessarily just my complaint, because I think he's done a lot of really good things.
Sure.
But this is how young people who voted for him 4 years ago are not that enthused and are not out there working right now like they were 4 years ago. And I think the Democrats are depending on our fear of going back to the Republicans running the show, that's what's going to motivate enough of our people to get out. I don't know.